Yeah, Ryan, you're gonna be late again. Jungkook's voice cut through the morning chaos, sharp and familiar, and way too smug. You turn around panting, your backpack swinging off one shoulder like it might fall any second. Your hair was a mess, and your hoodie sleeves were halfway down your palms. I swear it was my alarm again. He jogged up beside you, his usual teasing grin already in place. That poor alarm must be exhausted from fighting you every day. You rolled your eyes. Save the roast session for lunch. Instead of firing back, he handed you a takeout cup. Here, black, no sugar. You stare at it surprised. You remembered? He shrugged, trying to play it cool. Of course, it's not rocket science. But it was more than just coffee. No one else remembered things like that, not even Aera. You took a sip, the warmth from the cup making its way to your chest. Where's she, by the way? Early lab, he replied. She says she'll meet us in the library. Of course she did. Hera was always 5 steps ahead of everyone. Beautiful, smart, and wildly confident. Your best friend since the first year, and Jungkook, he just slipped into your lives like he was meant to be there. The three of you claimed the same table in the back of the library every time, right by the window with the best lighting. It had become your quiet little world. Aera was already there, highlighter in hand, looking like she just stepped out of a magazine shoot. Her ponytail was perfect. Took you long enough, she said without looking up. I had to rescue Ryan from her latest war with time. Jungkook replied, flopping into the chair next to her. You took your usual seat across from them. And I'm still here. Miracles happen. Aera snorted, shocking. Jungkook reached into his bag and pulled out a stack of papers. I made notes for today's quiz prep. You blinked. Wait, you made notes? He gave you a playful glare. Why does everyone act like I'm allergic to productivity? Because you are. Aera deadpan. Fine, he groaned. No notes for you then. You grinned, leaning over the table. Too late, I'm stealing them anyway. He turned the pages toward you without a word. Your fingers brushed his as you took them. It wasn't the first time. It wouldn't be the last. That afternoon, the sky grew overcast and the air heavy. You sniffled once, then again. Are you sick? Jungkook asked, narrowing his eyes. It's just a cold, you said, brushing it off. He reached over and felt your forehead with the back of his hand. You're warm. It's nothing serious. He didn't reply. He just stood up and left. 15 minutes later, he returned with soup, tissues, and a vitamin drink. Jungkook, don't argue, just eat. You stared at him, something fluttering in your chest. He wasn't your boyfriend, not even close, but no one had ever looked after you like this. And that scared you. A few days later, during a boring lecture, Taehyung slid into the seat beside you. He always did. His quiet presence had become something like comfort. Morning, he whispered. Hey, you whispered back. You took out your pen and your eyes automatically drifted to Jungkook and Aera a few rows ahead. He said something, she laughed, he smiled. You like him, don't you? Taehyung asked out of nowhere. Your pen froze mid-scribble. Huh? Jungkook. He said softly, you like him. You looked away. We are just close. Yeah, he said, a soft smile tugging at his lips. I get it. You turned to look at him properly. You say that like you have been there. He didn't say anything for a second, then shrugged. Maybe I have. There was something quiet and constant in Taehyung. Something you had always overlooked. He noticed everything, even the things you tried to hide. That evening, the three of you, Jungkook, Aera, and you, sat on campus lawn working on your psychology project. The sky was painted in burnt orange, the scent of jasmine drifting on the breeze. If I have to write one more paragraph on Pavlov and his dumb dog, I swear I'll drop out. Aera groaned dramatically. You say that every week, Jungkook replied, clicking his pen. And yet I survive, barely. You watched them banter, smiling softly. It should have felt like home, and yet something about it made you feel like you were slowly being pushed outside the window of your own life. Jungkook turned to you. You okay? You have been quiet. You blinked, just tired. The cold is still kicking my butt. Rest after this. I'll send you my notes. You nodded, feeling your chest ache in places it shouldn't. You were falling, you didn't mean to, but here you were. And somewhere behind you, Taehyung sat alone in the second row of the lecture hall, typing up notes he knew you had forgotten to take because he saw you too, always had. It was a rainy afternoon. The campus was quiet except for the steady tap of raindrops on umbrellas and the sound of shoes splashing through puddles. You, Jungkook and Aera huddled under one umbrella walking toward the main building. We look like baby penguins, you muttered, pressed between your two best friends. Speak for yourself, Aera laughed. I'm the tall, elegant penguin, the one who leads. Then Jungkook must be the confused one in the back. You added with a grin. Excuse me? He scoffed, shifting the umbrella more over Aera's side than yours. This confused penguin brought the umbrella. You shoved your elbow lightly into his side. Unbelievable. Hey, he laughed. That's physical assault. Baby penguins don't sue, Aera teased. You laughed along with them, but something in your chest felt hollow, like you were laughing from the outside of the joke, like somehow they had moved closer and you had stayed still. Later, you all ended up at your favorite barbecue place after class. Jungkook grilled the meat while Aera scrolled through Instagram beside him. You were across from them, silently watching the way he leaned in closer when Aera spoke, the way his eyes lit up when she showed him something on her phone. I think Jungkook spoils you more than me, Aera joked, pointing at the extra meat he placed on your plate. You forced a smile. He's just nice to everyone. But you felt it again, the ache, the subtle difference. He was kind to you, yes, always had been. But with her, he was present in a different way. More focused, more alive. You tried to eat, but your appetite faded as fast as your mood. That night you stood at the bus stop alone. Rain still fell in a soft drizzle. You didn't have an umbrella this time. Forget something? A familiar voice asked behind you. You turned to see Taehyung holding out his umbrella casually like it was always meant to be shared. You always save me, you said softly, stepping under it. He shrugged. You never ask for help, so someone's gotta do it without asking. You smiled, but he didn't. He looked at you like he wanted to say more, like he had been holding something. But instead he asked, why do you look sad every time he looks at her? Your heart stopped. I don't. You do, he said gently, and I'm not judging. I see you. He looked away, blinking fast. I wish he did. Taehyung didn't reply. He didn't need to. The silence between you said enough. The next day, campus burst with energy. Posters went up for the upcoming spring festival. Aera bounced excitedly as you walked toward the class. We have to do everything this year, she declared. Photo booths, games, food stalls, haunted house. Jungkook interrupted, appearing beside you. Nope, you said immediately. Not a chance. Oh, come on. We'll protect you. I don't trust either of you in the dark with fake zombies, you mumbled. Jungkook laughed and nudged your shoulder. We'll hold your hand. You smiled, heart flipping stupidly until he turned to Aera. You'll come too, right? Of course, wouldn't miss it. You watched the way they smiled at each other. And for the first time, you wished you weren't there. Not because you didn't love them, but because it hurt too much to stand between two people slowly falling for each other while you were already at the bottom, broken. Festival day came faster than expected. You wore a simple white dress and a denim jacket. Nothing fancy, but enough to make Jungkook pause when he saw you. You look good, he said, eyes scanning you for a second too long. You blushed. You're not so bad yourself. He smiled soft and familiar. Want cotton candy? You nodded. Pink. The two of you wandered ahead while Aera got pulled into a group of juniors. For the first time in days, it felt like old times. Just you and him walking through rows of stalls, laughing like nothing had changed. He reached over and wiped sugar from the corner of your mouth. You eat like a 5-year-old. Shut up, you said, trying not to melt under his touch. For a moment, the world slowed, just you and him, just this closeness. And you thought maybe, just maybe, but later when Aera joined you, both at the haunted house, Jungkook instinctively took her hand. Not yours. Your chest cracked slightly, and Taehyung saw. He always saw. That night, after the festival ended, your phone buzzed. It was Jungkook. Can't sleep. You up? Yeah, what's up? You looked pretty today. Just wanted to say that. You stared at the message for a long time. Thanks, you too. But deep down you wondered, did he mean it? Or was it just something he said to the girl who wasn't the one he was falling for? You sat with your knees pulled to your chest, your head resting lightly on them. The sun was setting behind the city skyline, but your eyes weren't watching it. They were fixed on your hands, trembling, empty, and cold. The door opened behind you. You didn't look. You already knew who it was. Wyan, Jungkook said softly, stepping closer. Why are you up here? You didn't answer right away. Your throat was tight. Your chest felt too full to breathe. He sat beside you, leaving a little space. Aera said you didn't come to lunch. She noticed. Your voice cracked more than you meant it to. Of course, he said gently. We both did. You turned your face away. The last thing you wanted was to cry in front of him. Not again. There was something that you wanted to tell him. You didn't plan to say it. You hadn't rehearsed it in your head or written it in your notes app. It had just built up for weeks, months, quietly swelling in your chest until it became unbearable. He had no idea, and maybe that was the most heartbreaking part of it all. Jungkook, you said softly, voice trembling as it broke the silence. He looked at you with that same boyish face, warm and safe and familiar. Hmm? Your fingers twisted into the fabric of your jeans. There's something I need to tell you, and you can't cut me off, okay? He tilted his head, concern flickering in his gaze. What's wrong? You laughed under your breath, but there was no joy in it. Nothing. Everything. I don't know. He frowned slightly, shifting his body to face you more. You didn't give yourself time to back out. I like you, not as a friend, not like Aera does. I like you in a way that makes it hard to breathe when you are around. I have liked you for a long time now, Jungkook. His eyes widened just slightly. Silence swallowed everything for a moment. The sound of the wind, the faint noise of the campus below, all of it faded, and in that brief pause, for half a second, your heart stupidly hoped, but then he exhaled, and you knew what was coming. Ryan, he said gently, cautiously, like he was holding something delicate. I didn't know. You nodded quickly, not trusting yourself to speak. He continued, I never meant to. I mean, I like you. I care about you, but never saw you like that. You tried to smile, but your lips barely moved. There's someone I have been thinking about lately. Someone I think I might like, and it's Aera. Your chest caved in as if someone had knocked the air out of your lungs. Of course, it was her. You didn't speak, you couldn't. You just nodded again, even though the sting behind your eyes was already rising. I'm so sorry, he added softer this time. I didn't mean to hurt you. You laughed again, and this time it cracked straight down the middle. It's okay. You don't have to be sorry. It's just I'm stupid. He reached for your hand, but you pulled it away before he could. I should go, you said, standing up quickly, blinking fast to keep the tears at bay. But before you could take a step, you heard it. You turned toward the door and saw her. She was standing just outside the rooftop entrance. You didn't know how long she had been there, but from the look in her eyes, shocked, soft, broken, long enough. She stepped back as soon as your eyes met, as if she didn't know how to be in that moment. Neither did you. You didn't speak, you didn't cry, you didn't even breathe, you just walked. You didn't look back at Jungkook, you didn't wait for Aera to say something. You left them there together. You didn't know where your feet were taking you, but your heart was too broken to care. The courtyard was mostly empty now. The sky had gone from gold to grey. Students passed, chatting, laughing, all of it blurred. Your body moved to the farthest bench under the weeping tree, and then it all came crashing down. Your knees gave out as you said. Your hands covered your face, and the sob ripped out of your chest like a wound finally torn open. You cried hard, messy, loud, ugly. You cried for every late night walk, every shared coffee, every time he noticed your favorite snack. You cried for how he didn't love you back, and how you knew deep down you never stood a chance. Ryan, the voice was low, careful, and familiar. You looked up startled, vision blurred, and there he was, Taehyung. He knelt in front of you, his brows drawn together in worry, his breath catching at the sight of your tear-soaked cheeks. You saw me, you whispered, your voice raw. You saw me make a fool of myself. No, he said immediately, don't say that. You shook your head trying to wipe your tears, but they wouldn't stop. I told him everything, and he said he likes her. Your voice cracked again. He never looked at me that way, not once. And that's when you broke down again, sobbing into your hands. Taehyung didn't hesitate. He wrapped his arms around you gently, pulling you into his chest. And you didn't fight it. You just sank into him like he was the only solid thing left in a world that was crumbling beneath your feet. I've got you, he whispered into your hair. Let it out, I'm here. His hands rubbed soothing circles on your back, his voice like an anchor keeping you from drowning. You don't have to be okay right now, he murmured. You don't have to smile, not with me. You clenched his shirt in your fists, your heart aching in places you didn't know existed. Why does it hurt so much, Tae? Because you loved him, he whispered, and he didn't love you the way you deserved. You didn't respond, you couldn't, but in that moment, with your tears soaking into his shirt, his heartbeat steady against your cheek, and the world finally quiet, you realized something. Taehyung wasn't the one who broke your heart. He was the one trying to piece it back together. The rooftop had fallen quiet again. Jungkook stood frozen, staring at the door you had just disappeared through. The air was heavy, guilt crawling up his throat like a vine, wrapping tighter with every passing second. He heard her footsteps behind him. Aera, I didn't mean for it to happen like this. Her eyes stayed locked on his. I didn't know she felt that way about me. He continued, voice lower. I was being myself, and when I realized I liked you, I thought, I don't know, that it might be simple. Aera took a slow breath, crossing her arms over her chest, more to hold herself together than anything else. But it's not simple, she said quietly. Jungkook nodded, guilt pooling in his gut. I never wanted to hurt her. I know, but unknowingly you did. He opened his mouth, then shut it. There was nothing to argue with. It was true. Then her voice softened, broke. And I can't be with you. That made his head snap up. What? She looked down at her hands. Her nails were digging into her sleeves. Even if you like me, even if you think there's something here, I can't. Jungkook's face dropped. Why? Because she's my best friend, Jungkook. Aera whispered. She's not just anyone. She's like my sister, my person. He stared at her speechless. I saw her face. When she walked away, I have never seen her break like that. There was silence, then she looked up and her eyes were glistening with unshed tears. You don't have a fault. You stayed true and transparent, which was good. But even if I tried, even if I forced myself to feel something, I couldn't be with someone my best friend has feelings for. It would kill her. It would kill me. Jungkook swallowed hard. I didn't mean to come between you two. But you did, she replied, not cruelly, just honestly. And if I chose you, I would lose her. She stepped back, voice trembling now. And I can't lose her. He watched her, the girl he thought he might be falling for, and realized something he hadn't expected. She wasn't going to pick him because she already had someone she had picked a long time ago. You.